Yo, what's going on, guys? It's KT on EGTV, and we're back again with another video. Yes. Hopefully, you guys are well. Today, we're going to be talking about reviewing the final two episodes of the All or Nothing documentary with Arsenal, and obviously going through the whole last season where we subsequently did not finish with European football. But of course, it was a topsy-turvy season. Now, let's just get straight into the first episode, and then we'll break down some of the things that I seen and some of the talking points that I wanted to pick out and talk about in regards to those episodes, right? So, with the first episode, I found, first of all, there was two episodes, by the way, and the first one, number 7, was called a lightning ball moment, basically going through the ups and downs of our bad run of form near the back end of the season to all the way to the Chelsea win. And then you also have North London is Forever, which is the last part of the documentary, talking about the North London, the debacle with the North London derby and everything that led to the end of the season. Now, just before we go any further, let me know what you guys thought about the documentary. Let me know in the comment section what you thought about the whole series and everything. Did you find it to be really informative? Because I really did, and I found it to be really good in the sense that it really taught us a lot about what we didn't know about the club and little things around how things happen. And there's also some things that you might have not even known before this documentary came out that we found out today. For example, Kieran Tierney's injury, some of the things that we need to talk about. But yeah, let's just get straight into it. Almost about to start, but before we do, let me know where you're watching from. Let me know what you guys think about the content, and really do appreciate all the love and support I've been getting on the channel lately. So don't forget to hit that like button. Now let's get straight into episode 1, lightning bulb moment. Right, the episode takes us straight to that Crystal Palace game. Now, that Crystal Palace game was a shocker of a game. If you guys remember, in that Crystal Palace game was where Thomas Partey got injured, and in this Crystal Palace game, we ended up losing the game 3-0. Now, the reason why I put Granit Xhaka on the screen, because not only Thomas Partey's injury was a key part to that game. Yes, Thomas Partey did get injured that game, and that was the Crystal Palace game that led to the beginning of our injury crisis. But in this clip, we find out that Granit Xhaka is a key part of the leadership role in the team. Him being one of the only voices in the dressing room who actually stands up and tells people, "Yo, what the hell are we doing? Fix up." He's getting them. He's trying to get them in the right manner, in the right mindset. And Granit Xhaka is one of the only people actually seems to have a voice in the locker room that's telling people what to do and when to do it. And it just goes to show that everyone making fun of Granit Xhaka, yes, he might make mistakes. Yes, he might not be the most consistent player, but he's one of the only vocal leaders that we have in that dressing room at this moment in time. And you can say that is an issue, but in my opinion, it just shows how valuable and integral he is to this team at that moment in time in the season. With Granit Xhaka being the only person voicing his opinion, and Thomas Partey getting injured, leading to him having to get subbed off and finding out that he will be out for the remainder of the season. Now, with that Crystal Palace loss, the board and the people at the back in the back room of the Arsenal with Arsenal. So you had Richard Garlick, Vinay, you had Edu and Mikel Arteta. Josh Kroenke was not there, but they all met after the game and they were just speaking about the game. And this is where we found out something very interesting. I didn't even know this, to be honest. I was quite shocked to find this out. The way that Kieran Tierney picked up his injury is actually very shocking. Did you guys know Kieran Tierney actually did not get injured on the football pitch? He got injured and re-aggravated his injury getting out of the shower. Yes, Kieran Tierney picked up his injury getting out of the shower. Now, Kieran Tierney was injured numerous times prior to this, but this was something we did not know. We did not know about this. Kieran Tierney knee injury was re-aggravated after tripping in the shower, where he then completely had a tear. Now, I'm not a doctor, but the doctor in the video said that he was playing 3 to 4 games with no issues with a knee injury. Right now, this wasn't a serious injury at that point; it was just a knock. Then he didn't get the proper care. He continued to play, and after playing all those games, he injured himself in the shower. How unlucky is this guy, Kieran Tierney? Literally, imagine the jokes that people could be making. Some people probably won't pay attention to it, but that was something that I found very odd. How does he injure himself in the shower? right? But yeah, he tripped, he fell, and then he injured himself. Now, subsequently, we started to get bad form. We were dropping games left, right, center, and this is where we find that Mikel Arteta's team talks were were quite explicit, and he was really digging into these boys. He was really getting onto them. After the Crystal Palace game, he really got onto them, gave them an earful, and after the Brighton game, he did not even want to speak to them. He did not even want to speak to them, and he was telling them, "Yo, this is just showing the type of man that he is." He's like, "You know what? I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna regret, so I'm not gonna speak." And that's where he left at that moment. Now, this is where the next moment. This was a key part of the documentary where they talked about the integration of Mohamed Elneny and Eddie Nketiah. Now, I thought Mohamed Elneny and Eddie Nketiah had a big part to play with that episode 7. And I thought they were a crucial part to this episode, showing that Mikel Arteta had the faith in instilling in some of the young guys, and also bringing in Mohamed Elneny, who has not been playing much game time. So Mikel Arteta making a bold move, playing them, and this led to them starting against Chelsea and Manchester United. But before we get into the Manchester United game, Mikel Arteta came out with a very unique team talk. Now, I'm not gonna lie. Mikel Arteta is very creative when it comes to trying to motivate these players. He always somehow finds a way to try to motivate these players. But this time, he brought a light bulb, and he was using a light bulb in the dressing room pre-game to try to motivate them, to try to tell them, "Oh, if you have a bulb and you don't have the energy, you'll never have the light." And I don't know exactly what he was saying, but he was kind of like motivating them, and it just shows that he has so many unique methods to try to motivate the team. I just found that very interesting. Now, after the whole losing streak, right, and suffering all those losses, we ended up going on to a better run of form. We had to face Chelsea and Manchester United, who at the time Manchester United were top 4 contenders. So we ended up playing them, and Eddie Nketiah stepped up big time, showing all the belief that we had in Eddie Nketiah. And Eddie Nketiah made a point to say, "You know what? You guys didn't give me enough of a chance. Every time I come in, I play bit parts. I'm playing here and there." It just goes to show that when you give him a little bit more run of games, a little bit more faith, he delivered. And against Chelsea, he delivered. Against Leeds, he delivered. And against Manchester United, when we really needed to win, certain guys delivered and stepped up. And those back-to-back results got us back into the race, got us back into the top 4. And we already know about the situation, guys. We already know what happened there, but there's nothing else there. And then that ended the episode there. That ended that episode, and we now go on to episode number 8, the final episode of the series, called North London Forever, named after the song that was actually done by what's his name, Louis Dunford, right? But before we get into Louis Dunford's situation, if you guys don't know, there was an incident that took place. Yes, there was an incident where and Lacazette and Cedric got into a little tussle. Now, I'm not gonna lie to you, Lacazette was hella disrespectful, grabbing the man by his face. I completely get why this fight took place. I completely get why they started fighting. I completely get why they started arguing in this whole situation. It made perfect sense. Hence why this whole situation got to the level that it got to. I personally think Lacazette was the aggressor, and he did end up apologizing. If you guys want to see what he actually did, he was moving mad. He was moving mad. He was grabbing man's by the chin, and trying to like scuffle with him. Let me show you the image. This was it. Like, it looked like for a second they were gonna go to blows, but everyone came and broke it up, and that's what happened in that Lacazette fight. It was quite interesting, to say the least, right? Then we get into some more of the players, and we speak about some of the players leading into the final couple games just before the North London derby. Before that, we're talking about Rob Holding and Rob Holding's professionalism and his ability to just come in and be a utility piece. Rob Holding showing that he is a true professional, and just some of the things that you get a little bit more respect for Rob Holding in this documentary, and the part that he plays in the team. Never complaining, never being upset, always ready to come on whenever need be. Rob Holding did definitely get some praise in this end of the documentary. Then we also get on to the North London Forever song before we play that game against Leeds. Now, I'm not gonna lie, I did not know Mikel Arteta had such a big part to play in making sure this song got pushed and put in front of the crowd on that game. And to get Arteta to push it and to speak to the team and the dressing room and to get this over the line, that was pretty impressive. Big up on Mikel Arteta. And you know what? Definitely raised the spirits slightly. We ended up winning that game, so it was really good. And yeah, moving on now to the North London Derby. North London Derby was not good. North London Derby was not good. You could fully see that Rob Holding was beside himself, upset that he got sent off. The boys lost their heads, and we couldn't keep it together. Mikel Arteta absolutely grilled them, Um, uh, and you know what? It just goes to show. Now, with all this being said, there was a couple other talking points, but like the North London Derby ended, and it was just dark, lethargic. No one cared. But here's where things got even worse. After the North London Derby, Mikel Arteta says, "Don't worry, it's still in our hands. It's still in our hands. We have to go to Newcastle." Before the game against Newcastle, what if I told you we had to beat Newcastle? We already know what ended up happening. We ended up losing. He absolutely went mental on them. Mikel Arteta went mental on them. He ranted so much after that loss, which I would have done too. He absolutely destroyed them, gave them rinsed them, gave them an earful, told them exactly what he felt and how they let everyone down and let the team down. Absolutely got onto their heads, and you know what? They deserved it. They deserved the earful. They absolutely messed up, and Mikel Arteta was right to do that. He was very much right to do that. Now that ended up that part going into the Everton game. He said, "You know what? They could still drop points." Blah 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 blah. We never ended up. They ended up never ended up dropping points. We ended up not getting top four. But overall, the documentary was a very good documentary. I enjoyed it. That was the end of the final two episodes, and we ended up beating Everton, and that was it. Right. Some things that I wanted to talk about quickly. Um, I earned a lot of. I gained a lot of respect for some of the people in Mikel Arteta's staff. Um, Carlos Casado being one of them. He's very very much like big part of Mikel Arteta's staff, and he's one of the youngest coaches. And you know what? Just shout out to him. He speaks over like six languages, and he's just so involved in the Arsenal coaching development situation. He's the lead development coach, and he's only like 27 or something like that. He's very young, so it's quite impressive. Another thing that I wanted to talk about is the lack of involvement from Nicolas Pepe. In the documentary, I kind of feel like he's just there. He's not really involved. He's not really giving a part. He's not really giving any things that he's not really like. He's just there. Like I kind of feel bad for Nicolas Pepe. He's kind of part of the team, but he's at the same time he's not. He's just kind of like on the side, like just like on the side, a little bit on the side, like as a side man. It's kind of crazy. But yeah, here's the thing. Arteta absolutely ripped him a new one after the Newcastle game, and he was just pissed. But yeah, the season obviously ended with us beating Everton, and then not getting what we wanted. But yeah, at the end of the documentary, you could tell that they were pushing and trying to get Champions League football. But by the end of the documentary, they spun it as, oh, getting back into Europe was a successful season, coming from eighth. But realistically, we all know the reality. We let ourselves down. We didn't get what we wanted to get. And it's almost like you're trying to talk yourself into that it was a decent end to the season, even though it wasn't. But yeah, that was it. That was a documentary. And overall, I felt like the documentary was a good documentary. I felt like the last couple episodes were letdowns in the sense that like I really didn't like the last two episodes. I felt like the first six episodes were amazing. The last two episodes, everything that was in there we already knew pretty much, except for the Kieran Tierney stuff and the Lacazette Cedric fight. But yeah, my overall review to the whole series, I'm not gonna lie to you, I like the All or Nothing series. Is it something I would watch again? Probably not. I probably would not watch this whole series again. I probably would just I probably would not rewatch this whole series. I feel like the series is a good series, and you could probably watch it once. It's good viewing for the first time, but it's not something you're gonna sit there and rewatch with your friends and everybody. The, there was low moments like the Brighton game, like the Newcastle game, like the North London derby, and the Man City game early in the season. There were some high moments like the North London derby, like when we beat Chelsea in some of those games. But overall, the documentary was pretty much a synopsis of the season last season, which we've already watched ourselves, and we know what it's about. I think it was a good documentary. It was very informative in certain parts, like telling us about how Arteta is, and I really earned a lot more respect for Mikel Arteta and some of the staff members in the backroom staff, and it kind of paints the Cronkies in a good light. People would say it's PR, but I'm falling for the PR. I really am I really am earning gaining a lot more respect for Mikel Arteta and some of the boys behind the scenes. Um, One of the things that I am looking out for now is where do we see our progression next season, and like after losses, I now know that Mikel Arteta is on their back. I know after draws, like halftime going into the dressing room, he's getting on their back like he did against the West Ham game. They showed vividly that he went in on them in that West Ham game at halftime, and they ended up turning it around and getting a performance. So my overall review is it taught me what I thought it was going to teach me. It taught me about how much more I respect Mikel Arteta, how much more I respect some of these professionals in the dressing room, and it just taught me that Pepe is an outsider in this team. Pepe's an outsider in this team. Some of the players in the team get injured quite a lot because they don't really take the proper preparation to make sure that they're not injured again. Like Tierney, he doesn't really take care of himself enough. He needs to take care of himself a little bit more. It taught us about the Aubameyang situation, and you know what? It painted Aubameyang in more of a similar light to what I thought I was going to paint him as. Mohamed Elneny, Rob Holding, some of the squad players, very good seasoned professionals. And yeah, that's pretty much it, really. I thought the documentary, if I would give it a score out of five, I'd give it a three. I don't think it's amazing. Like it is amazing in the sense that it really gets you in love with the team, but we already know the story plot, and it's just like I'm gonna be fair. I love the fact that it gets you more connected with the club, more in love with Arsenal, more in love with the manager, more in love with these players. But overall, was there much that we've seen that we didn't know? Of course not. I think maybe I'm being harsh. I'll give it a four. I'll give it a 4 out of 5. I think it was really good, but it wasn't like amazing. It could be better. I don't know how they could make it better, but hey, that's my score. That's my rate. That's my review on this whole thing. And I just thought, you know what? I've done 3 episodes on it. The first episode, I was in love with the show. Everything about it, I was in love. The second 3 episodes, I thought they were very informative, very good, very educational. And the last 2 episodes, I just felt like you didn't deliver the ending properly. You kind of made it very much like, yeah, I don't know. They could have done better there. But yeah, I hope everyone enjoyed it. And you know what? To the rivals, you didn't really get much to laugh about. So, haha. But yeah, big up to the people in the comment section. Hopefully, you guys are good. Let's see what you guys are saying. Big up. Do you think sign anyone before the transfer window closes? Not really talking about that right now. The whole thing makes Arteta look like a Spanish David. What? Everything is good apart from Vinay, the CEO, saying that was a success. Yeah, when I seen Vinay say it was a successful season, finishing in fifth, it made my stomach turn a slight bit, man. It made me think like, why would he say that? You know that's not true. You know that's not true. Um, Big up to you, man. The director has to be fourth, maybe, and not maybe Europa League. 100%, 100%, 110%. But yeah, guys, I thought the documentary was a 4 out of 5. Honestly, I thought the first 3 episodes were outstanding. The next 3 episodes were very informative, and the last two were kind of letdowns. I was hoping we were gonna get to see more punches between Cedric and Lacazette, but we didn't get to see that either. But yeah, you guys have yourselves a wonderful day. Catch you guys on the flip side. I think I'll be back later today with vibes from the six. We're gonna be doing preview for the Premier League weekend. And yeah, you guys enjoy yourself. You have yourself a wonderful day. I'm out of here, people. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Leave a like on the video if you're watching the playback, and if you're watching live, don't forget, your boy will be back. But leave a comment down below once the video fully is done. But yeah, big up on Twitch, TikTok, everywhere. Peace.